suspect. And most of all, I found him very weird and like a bluffer, when people pretend too much and it just doesn't look good because everything he said didn't match with how the way he looked. It didn't match the way he was dressed, and it didn't match to his entire picture. And I know that because at the bank, we used to double check and triple confirm people, and I knew how to watch and where to watch, and that's how I managed to escape Epstein. But Trump was very subtle, and he played the trust card. And that's where I have fallen into his trap and his ambush.
You described that ambush as violent. Can you describe it?
I cannot go into details because then we have to stop.
That's fine.
I can only say that it was brutal. It was intense. And I do not wish anything like this to anybody, not even my worst enemies. Especially when you come with good feelings, especially when you come from abroad and you trust a person, you trust the country you come to. And you also have to imagine something else. I did not have my passport anymore. So I couldn't just say, okay, this was terrible what happened to me. I'm going to take the first plane. It was impossible.
Wait, where was your passport?
We did the check-in, and once we did the check-in, the passport were taken away. I didn't have my passport anymore.
Oh my God.
So I had
didn't know
no
this.
option to go away. I had no option to do anything. And don't forget something very important. He threatened me. He clearly said, you have to be quiet, otherwise bad things will happen to you. And I will never, ever forget that moment, and especially the second moment when he said, the show must go on. In other words, you go back to the pageant, you do like nothing happened. We make a deal, the two of us, and you will get everything you want from me, but just keep quiet. And I'm telling you here right now, I was ready to say everything he wanted me to hear, just to escape from that trap alive and to be able at a certain stage to go back to my country. That's what happened.
Good Lord, I can't believe they kept your passport. This is shocking. I didn't notice this in any of the documents. After this awful, violent assault, who was the first person you told? Was it when you got home?
It was impossible to talk to anybody. My parents were very traditional, and they would have never understood. My close friends would have never believed me. I couldn't go to the police. In the 90s, we women, we had only one right. And you know exactly what I'm talking about, Scott, because you knew the 90s. Just suffer in silence. And that's all we had as option. Suffer in silence. And that's exactly what I did. And I tried my best to keep everything hidden so that I can continue my life, I can go back to bank, and I can be operative. Because otherwise I would have even lost my job at the bank, and I would have lost control of my life. And I had no other alternative than to be quiet, to suffer in silence, and try to find solutions as good as possible. But I was lucky because I had a great job. I was super busy on the highest levels, and I could really keep myself busy. But the subconscious, it always brings it up. Even if you try hard to push it down, you try to put it in the box, you try to put everything you want, I tried everything. But it came up regularly, and it's like an open wound, you just suffer in silence. You learn to suffer in silence. And this is a method that I had to live with for 30 years. And sometimes I managed well, sometimes I didn't manage. And I knew that I would not be able to find help anywhere. There were no associations. Doctors would never talk about this. It was a taboo. you know. And voilà, this is a girl from the 90s, and I had to live with what society wanted from us, you know, just be nice, be a good girl, and be quiet.
So you stayed silent. You suffered in silence for 30 years. What made you decide to come forward recently?
Well, first of all, when he got elected in 2016, that was again the worst time in my life, because he was omnipresent from morning till the evening, in the news, in the newspaper, in the everywhere, online, etc. So there I started to get really sick, and I started also to have all these flashbacks. I had started to just, I couldn't keep it down anymore. I couldn't keep it in a safe. I just couldn't anymore. And I realized also for myself that I have to work on it, that I have to bring it out somehow. And that's how it all started, also with a very good friend of mine. We started to talk about it, also the idea of the book, so that we put everything black on white, and that it would help me also to heal. And that's how we step by step started and worked on it. It was very difficult, and we couldn't make it just like this in a day or two, and not in a week or two, but it took very long. It's a trauma that only those who lived it can believe it, and who know, who witness it, that there is no medicine for this. Absolutely no medicine. And you have to be very strong. You have to have a huge character. And as I said before, I was lucky because my job was a great job, and it kept me busy. And that's how I started, with the idea of the book, with writing down, and one chapter and one topic after the other. And that's how we managed to come forward a little bit. And then I saw these other women. At that time, there were 26 who already were 26 women against Trump. And then my article, my testimony in the Daily Mail came out, and it was a bomb. It was a huge bomb. I never expected that. I thought I would go under the radar, just like the other 26 women, you know. But all of a sudden, the general conscience has waking up. The journalists waked up. The society was also open to what we were talking about. And
Booking.com makes trip planning easy, even when your friend group travels in different styles. Be the group chat hero with exclusive travel deals,